Welcome to day 13 of Vlogmas.
I vlog every day till Christmas for you.
So I am currently out in my garage and I thought that it would be fun to do a little bit more story time with this webcam that I have out here on this computer. When I first initially started doing these daily vlogs in April, this is actually what I wanted to do more is sitting in front of a webcam, interacting with you guys, telling stories, and it just turned out that it was a whole lot of fun bringing you with me with my kind of handheld recorder. And that way you can see some more of my life. And I really like that format. And I've actually only posted a few videos where I'm talking to you directly, which would be considered kind of legit vlogging. And so I want to do these more. I like them. Today I wanted to talk to you about a little bit more of my past, a story from my past, and I think it's pretty funny. I always test these stories on my friends first, and if they laugh and they think that they're funny, then I feel like they're worthy of being put up onto my vlog channel. This particular story is about how I became a raft guide many years ago. I'm sure there are plenty of you watching that have no idea that I was a raft guide for the Grand Teton National Park. There's some of you that have been following me for years, know that I talk about that portion of my life now and then, but I've never told how I got that position. So for those of you that don't know, all through college, I was a river guide. Every summer, like the day after college classes would end, I would get into my car and drive out to Wyoming and raft the Snake River. Amazing job. So the way that I got the position, I was just a few weeks out from going to my first year of Iowa State University, and I was in a racquetball club. If you've never played racquetball, it's a whole lot of fun. I played racquetball all through college, and I met these three guys that were just hitting the ball randomly inside of one of these big racquetball rooms. They had absolutely no idea what they were doing. It was I could see in to see what they were doing because it was a big glass back. If you know racquetball at all, you know that some of the courts have the big glass back so you can like look in at what the people are doing. And they saw me watching. They knew that I was thinking like, what are these guys doing? So they asked me, they came out and they said, "Hey, you seem like you might know what you're doing here. Can you help? Can you teach us how to play?" So I said, "Sure." I went in there, taught them all the rules. There was one guy though, and he didn't say anything. He had just kind of a goofy smile on his face the whole time. Didn't really say anything. He made some kind of goofy noises, and he seemed very happy just to be there and hanging out. So I was curious about this one. I was talking to the other two guys, and I was thinking like maybe there's something wrong with this guy. You know, you sometimes meet people, and it's not like he was socially awkward. He was just kind of like not all there. It seemed like, and so then I left those guys, and then the next few days, I had my very first day of class, and I look across this room. There's hundreds of people in the classroom, and there's the guy, and his name was Brian, and saw him all the way across, and I was like, "Oh, so he actually goes to school here. That's pretty cool." And then the next class I had, I was sitting down, got my notebook out and everything, and just looked around the room to see if I knew anybody. And Brian was sitting right next to me, and I was like, "Hey, that is such a coincidence that I would meet this guy." a week, before playing racquetball, I see him in the class prior to the one that I'm sitting in, and then he just happens to be sitting right next to me. I was like, "Hey, Brian, right? How's it going? I'm Luke. I'm the guy that was playing racquetball." And he's like, "Oh yeah, Luke. How are you?" And then I realized that he wasn't, and I'm just gonna say it. He wasn't retarded. I thought that he might be like maybe like a quarter percent retarded or something, just like he wasn't completely there. And I don't mean to offend anybody, but he just had that mentality. um, it turns out that he was just that day, because I talked to him about it later, and I was like, "Hey man, I thought that you might have been kind of retarded the first time I met you," which I know there's many of you like, "Oh, don't say that," but it's just like he just wasn't completely. It turns out he was shy, and he was just like happy to be starting up classes as well, and just so shy and just happy. And yeah, so I felt stupid because I had judged a person too quickly. I ended up becoming really, really good friends with Brian. We went and played racquetball many more times. We had lunch right after those two classes. And during that year of going to classes with him, he told me how excited he was to be going out and working as a river guide at the Grand Teton National Park. And I told him how excited I was to be selling TVs at a Sears store that same summer, which yeah, is not true. Selling TVs at a Sears store, kind of lame compared to doing rafting. So he told me that he could see me as like an outdoorsy kind of like raft guide, that I could possibly pull off that lifestyle. So I told him, I was like, yeah, if you can get me a position doing that, I would love to go out there with you. So he contacted his boss, got it all set up, and then I went out there. Training to be a river guide is pretty intense. It's 6 weeks of kind of boot camp on the river, and they hire twice as many guides as they actually need for a position like that, and then they will only take half of those. My year, they hired like 13 guides, and it ended up only taking, I think it was six. And I was lucky enough to be chosen of one of those six, through my showing that I had the strength to do it. I had the desire, the ambition enough to learn everything about all of the different plants. And in a vlog, actually, last week, I talked about that moose, the moosea, like little pillow pet thing. The reason I know so much about moose, which by the way I kept saying meese or mooses, because I think it's funny to say, is because I have seen so many moose in my life from river guiding over 6 years, or 6 summers, I suppose. And it was just an amazing, amazing experience and part of my life that many people don't know. And so when I see things in the comments on YouTube, because I'm doing YouTube so much more now than I was many years ago, and people making assumptions possibly about my life or my decisions or things that I do, it's just funny because you guys, there are some of you that do know a lot about me, but there are many of you that really don't know anything. And you maybe get these like glimpses of my little story time with you. Um, so it actually makes me laugh. Some of the top comments that I see about uh, people making assumptions about anything, like me and Ingrid, me and my friends, and I like it. I like it a lot, and I like this community that that's happening here. So I wanna continue doing this. And if you've made it all the way to the end of this story, thank you so much for watching. Um, and I will see you tomorrow. Also, in the comments, if you do make it all the way to here, um, I want to do some sort of giveaway thing. I have ideas for them. I actually have the master copy of the my last solo album that I just put out, the music album. I thought about actually just giving that away because it's just kind of sitting in my room. And yeah, so let me know in the comments what you'd like me to send out. Yeah, that should be about it for today. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.